Back again. So, Liam Delap. Liam Delap. So, guys, for me, as I said earlier on my stream today, big up everyone that came through as well. As I said, in regards to Liam Delap, he wasn't someone that I initially thought that United were looking at. Obviously, the links there with Jason Wilcox, you can kind of see why Wilcox would want him. Obviously, had him at Man City in the under 23s or the under 21s, and if I'm looking at Liam Delap's his skill set, his age, if I'm looking at his the profile, of what kind of striker United need, I think for me, it's a no-brainer of a signing for me in terms of recruiting Liam Delap. Now, first and foremost, what I want to say in regards to Delap, I think, there's been a lot of talk around, his age. People were saying, he's very similar to Rasmus Højlund, where, again, I don't know where people are getting that from. He's nothing like Rasmus Højlund. And again, I've heard people say that you don't want to be bringing in another striker that is, 20, I think he's 21 or 22. You don't want to be bringing in a striker of that age when you have someone of a similar age there already. Now, what I would say is that for me, Delap for me is a definite signing for Man United, and I'll tell you why. I think first and foremost, Man United need to offload Rasmus Højlund. That's the main thing they need to do. So for me, Rasmus Højlund, is someone that will be offloaded. When, I'm not too sure, but he definitely needs to get offloaded if you are going to bring in a Liam Delap, and I think that's going to happen. Now, I'm looking at Delap more as a club signing, not as a signing for Ruben Amorim, because the way that I look at it is that I don't believe Amorim is going to be here for the foreseeable. So the fact that United are linked to Liam Delap, again, it's more of a club signing because I see it as a fact of this system being changed. Because as I said before, this system that Man United are playing, I'm not too happy with this system in terms of how it's being played. And I think this is the only manager that is going to play this system. So I think the sign of a Liam Delap, is being pursued with, I believe, in mind of not this system. So probably a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, which he can play obviously in both. So I think he's ideal for this for the way that Man United need to be playing going forward. I think of the last striker that Man United had in terms of what Liam Delap offers. He can hold the play, he can link the players. He can hold the ball up, he can link the play, he can shoot off both feet. He's physically strong as well. He's got decent pace. He's okay in the air. He can drive with the ball as well. So if I look at all these attributes that he has, the last striker that Man United had that was very similar to those attributes, of course, was Anthony Martial, who had all those traits in terms of linking the play, can turn as well on the half turn with his skill, shoot off both feet, and can play a pass as well. So if I'm looking at Man United playing good football, the football that I want to see being played, I think Liam Delap is ideal. Big up Reluctant Gamer for coming on. Big up to Mr. Shanvik Reddy as well. Guys, if you do like this stream, make sure you smash that like button. Big up Zed Gaming as well. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to my channel at GavGoesIn. So, for me, as I said, with Liam Delap, I think he's an ideal signing, not just for this manager. He's an ideal signing for the club, and as I said, for me, it's in mind of this system being changed. Man United going to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. As I said, and I think that's why I think this signing is being made. Big up Zishan, yeah, big up, man. And also, I think what's important, big up Golden Donut as well. Also, what is important for me is what profile of players you're going to have around Liam Delap. Now, the fact that I think Liam Delap is crucial, is will be a crucial signing. And again, this is a guy that, you can see him leading the line for England for years to come, over the next 5 to 10 years. You can see this is a player as well that if any club doesn't sign him up now after Ipswich get relegated, because that's going to happen for 30 mil, then you can easily see this is a player that will go for like 100 mil in the future if anyone tries to get him. So he's an important signing that needs to be got as soon as possible. And at 30 million, for me, it's a bargain. He's someone for me that he isn't necessarily going to come in as the main striker. Because I do believe, especially at Man United do need, unless you're going to revert Xerxes to a striker, which again, I'm seeing people saying, Xerxes isn't a striker, which I don't know why people are saying this. It doesn't make any sense. Xerxes is clearly a striker, in this system, if you want to get Xerxes on the ball, you're probably better off playing Xerxes as a 10 in this system. But again, I'm looking at Xerxes as a 9 in a different system, in a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. So again, I think I think personally, if you're gonna have Xerxes and Liam Delap as your two strikers in a different system, then for me that works. I don't believe United need to go and get a 20, 30 goal season striker. And again, these kind of players, are few and far between. We're only looking at really the likes of Robert Lewandowski and Harry Kane outside the Premier League that are doing this consistently, And if you look inside the Premier League, obviously you got Isak and Haaland, who you're not going to get. And other than that, there's no one really that are hitting that amount of them kind of numbers, So you need to get profiles to fit the team. Now, if you get a Liam Delap who can link the play, and again he can be as a facilitator for the attack, then around that you might want to get wide forwards. You might want to get like a Brian Mbeumo who will get goals. You might want to get a Matthias Cunha who's a shoot first player. So yeah, profiles like that would be suited. They would be suited to Man United, but it depends on what striker you want. Because again, if you've got a Victor Osimhen who's a pure number 9 striker, but he isn't going to offer what Liam Delap offers in terms of So if you've got like a Victor Osimhen who isn't going to offer you what Liam Delap offers you in terms of the link play, in terms of the close control in tight spaces, but he's a pure number 9, then you're going to need creators around that. So Man United haven't really got any creators in their 10s. I think the most creative players United have is a striker that's actually playing in the 10 in Xerxes, and Amad Diallo, who's out injured. So unless Man United are going to go and get pure creators to create for a number 9, then having a Delap who can facilitate the attack and can get you goals as well and can improve the players around him, getting someone that in for 30 million, that's going to be England's next striker after Harry Kane for years to come, then that's ideal. That's ideal, you know what I mean? And again, if it's a choice of getting Liam Delap and a Victor Osimhen, and you can get rid of a Rasmus Højlund, then again that works. But for me, I believe just going to get a Liam Delap, and I'm basing this on the system changing, because if the system changes, I believe you've got Xerxes and Delap, which is two good strikers there, and again, people might say these guys won't get 20 to 30 goals, but again, it's about them facilitating the attack, and goals will be shared around the whole team, But if this manager stays in post in Ruben Amorim, getting in a Delap and a Osman, I could see if you're not going to play Xerxes as a 9, you know. So yeah, these things are crucial to know because, as I said, I think I do think that Liam Delap, in terms of his skill set, you know, what he offers. Again, English players don't really provide this kind of skill set that he offers. You know, he's very all rounded. You know, he can, as I say, he can pass the ball, he can shoot, he's got strength, he's got decent pace, he can link the play. He's you can tell as well from playing from the lower leagues, he's rough and ready. You know, he's tough. He's technical as well. His receiving of the ball is very good. So yeah, these kind of things, you know, Man United need a striker that can offer those kind of things. And as I said, the last striker to do that at United consistently was Anthony Martial. You know, because before that, the other strikers like Ronaldo that played there, Cavani, obviously Rasmus, they don't offer these kind of skill sets. So again, the fact that United are chasing him, and obviously it looks like it's a recommendation from Jason Wilcox. Again, I'm happy with. You know, I just think what's most important is that if you are going to bring Liam Delap in, that has to mean Rasmus Højlund moves out of the club. You know, and then again, if you're going to change the system, if this manager gets sacked, because again, this is a club signing. You know, if the manager gets sacked, then, as I said, and Xerxes gets restored to being a number 9 again, then again, you're going to have two strikers in Xerxes and Delap that can both offer the same sort of attributes, you know, in terms of the link play, the touch, the strength as well. You know, I think Delap's probably more likely to run in behind, but obviously Xerxes will offer, you know, a bit more different in terms of the aerial dominance as well. You know, so again, this signing is based on, for me, the manager not being there for the long term, because I believe Man United now need to be making club signings rather than signings for the manager, you know. And again, I think what Man United are probably looking at, they probably don't want to miss out on, you know, England's next big talent, I would say. Because if you look at United from the past, they've had the likes of Beckham, who was #1 player for England at that time, Rooney, you know, and again, Coco, listen, if you're a hater, man, by all means, keep hating, man. But I'm not going to respond to your nonsense. At the end of the day, it's a football channel. You're not forced to be here. If you want to come and watch me, then that's your choice, man. But if you're going to come in there just chatting shit, then again, like, one of my mods will block you soon, and I'm not going to respond, man. If you ain't got nothing to contribute positive. If it's not my fault if your life is sad, you know, maybe you should do something about it. You know, big up Kareem. But yeah, so yeah, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so I think that, yeah, Man United just need to be making club signings rather than signings for the manager. And again, if you look at what Man United have had at in the past in terms of English players, you know, Beckham and Rooney were some of the leading players for the England national team. I think definitely they won't want to miss out on a Liam Delap. So I do see Delap as someone that is going to be leading the line for England very soon. And yeah, Man United need to get him because he's definitely going to cost more money than what they're going to literally pay for him. You're looking at 100 mil if they miss out on this, you know, because unless he gets a massive injury, you'd probably think that, you know, he's going to go on to fulfill his potential with what he's got to offer. And I think with Liam Delap, he's definitely going to stay in the Premiership if Ipswich get relegated. But he's going to have a few clubs after him, because if I look at the teams that could do with Delap, again, you've got Chelsea. You know, Chelsea might want to go for a more proven goal scorer because their team is full of youngsters, you would say. So they might want a more experienced head in there, like a Victor Osimhen or anyone else that comes to their mind. If you look at Tottenham could do with him as well. I know they've got Dominic Solanke, but having another option in Liam Delap would be good. And if you look at who else is there, Arsenal again, I think they're in the same boat as Chelsea. I think they're probably looking for a more proven goal scorer. Obviously, he come from Man City, and Man City got a sell-on clause for Delap. I was gonna say Man City would do good to get him back, but again, I think at this stage of development now, Delap needs to be playing, and obviously with Erling Haaland there, and obviously Omar Marmoush as well now, who can play there as well. There's no point Delap going back to Man City to sit on the bench. Liverpool, you know what? I think he'd be a good signing for Liverpool. You know, I didn't really look at the Liverpool one, but I think Liverpool would be a good signing for. They could do well to get Delap in, because I think if you look at the strikers they've got there now, Darwin Núñez ain't good enough. He's a bundle of energy, but he ain't good enough. If we look at Jota, very injury prone, and I think if you put Liam Delap, I think Liam Delap more or less can do a bit of both of what both of them strikers do. So I think he'd be an upgrade in terms of his skill set and what he offers to the team. You know, I think in terms of a better team at Liverpool, you know, he'll be playing better, and he'll bring a lot more to that team than what the other two do, in my opinion. So I think Liverpool would do well to look at him as well. Obviously, Man United already mentioned. So he's gonna definitely have suitors for his signature for sure, you know. And I think the fact that Wilcox is at Man United, I think that could be enough to get it over the line for me. And what I would say is that if Man United don't make this signing, you know, I think they can look at that and think they've missed out on Liam Delap there, because as I said, he's going to go for at least 100 million, I think, in his next move. Because I think he's gonna go. I think his trajectory is gonna go up and up for me, you know. So, but I know people obviously been talking about Osimhen. You know, as I said, I'm not really a massive fan of Osimhen. You know, even his goal scoring for me isn't that great. You know, in comparison to the way he's talked about. But I think a lot of it is his age profile, you know. I think it's what he's currently doing, or what he's currently done in football over the last few years, you know. And again, because the striker market is very small, you know, someone like an Osimhen, you know, for a relatively decent price, you would say as well. I think there's been talk about 64 million. You know, there was 40 million talk the other day. I think personally, if you can get Osimhen for between 40 and 60 million, I think in this era now of football, it's probably a steal, because, as I said, there's not really many strikers in the game no more that are of a top level, and even the very best ones, you're not getting them, or they're too old now, you know. So getting an Osimhen in who's what, 20, I think he's 26 or 27, is good business, really. And I definitely think Osimhen is coming to the Premiership. It's just whether he goes to United or Chelsea. You know, I can see those two being the options. But of course, he's going to want his money as well. So that's going to be interesting. But I can definitely see him come to the Premiership. And again, if he was to come with Delap in this system that Amorim is playing now, and you get rid of Erasmus Højlund, again, I wouldn't be... I'd look at it and say, you know what, that's fair enough. But I still think Joshua Zirkzee is going to be restored to as a striker, but that's only going to be under a new manager. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But even the manager is contradicted himself anyway, Ruben Amorim, because Amorim already said he don't see Zirkzee as a 9, but yet Zirkzee's last couple of games have been playing as a 9. So I'm not quite sure what this manager is doing at the moment. But for those of you that don't think Joshua Zirkzee is a 9, like, I don't know where that's come from. The guy is a 9. He's probably not a natural number 9 in his system. But again, who actually plays this system regularly? There ain't too many managers. So if you go back to a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, just restore him as a number 9 striker, you know, and just get players around him that are on the same wavelength. Or most importantly, if they're more goal hungry than what he is, again, the combination is going to work. So, you know, but again, yeah, Liam Delap for me, guys, definitely is a signing that Man United should be looking to do. But yeah, guys, give me your comments in the chat. You know, so Coco says, What about Kilmarnock FC, Aberdeen and Dundee? What about them? Scottish Premiership teams. So yeah, guys, what do you think? Do you think United should be pursuing Liam Delap, or do you think Victor Osimhen is the ideal player for United to go for? Let me know. What do you reckon? Do you think that Matthias Cunha? Do you think he will work well with Liam Delap, or do you think that Cunha will be better suited to playing with Osimhen? In actual fact, I think. Well, not actual fact. I think if Cunha and Delap and Osimhen was to both play in the same team, for me that don't work because I think Cunha is more of a shoot first player, but he's a very good shoot first player. And I think the kind of striker he would benefit of playing with. And guys, let's not forget as well, Matthias Cunha is actually a striker, but I think he's got too much ability to be playing as... He's kind of similar to Xerxes, I would say, where these guys are too talented to be playing as number 9 strikers, not getting the ball too much. So, which is why Cunha now plays more as a 10 to get on the ball. And this is why Xerxes in this system is more ideal to play as a 10 to get on the ball. But I think the combination with Cunha and a Osimhen, let's say, for me won't work because if you've got Cunha needs to play with a linkman striker, I would say, and that's why Delap is ideal. That's why Joshua Xerxes for me would be ideal if he's restored back there. You know, I think with Osimhen probably needs players like I think Eze would work well with Osimhen because Eze can create as well as Eze can be individual as well. You know, so that's why I done my stream yesterday. You know, I wouldn't mind either Eze or Cunha. You know, for me because I think both players would bring a lot to Man United, and as I said, I think you know the skill sets that both of them players offer is what Man United need. You know, both powerful runners with the ball. You know, both can take the game by the scruff of the neck if they need to. And Man United don't have too many of them players, you know, and it's about time United started targeting some real players. I think for too long, Man United seem to be getting rid of all the football players and keeping all the runners, you know, and I've been saying this for years, you know, to have a team of what we see now. And again, this Man United team are not, they're not, where they now in the league? 15th in the league? They're not a 15th team in the league. They're not. It's just that this system just doesn't get the best out of these players. And again, the manager has to take much criticism for this. But Man United's quality as a whole isn't that great for me, you know. And this is why the likes of Acuna, the likes of an Eze, you know, in them attacking positions, you know, even an Embuemo, you know, and it's Ryan Cherky. Man United need real quality in them areas. You know, I want to see Amad Diallo because let's not forget as well. Amad Diallo is not a wing back; he's a number 10. But in this system, he's probably a wing back. But again, I'm looking at it as you know this system being changed under a new manager because I would hate it to see that Amad Diallo is turned into a wing back for the foreseeable under this manager because I believe. He is probably better in the system as a wing back, but why not just go and get a proper wing back and then allow him to play as a right-sided 10? You know, because for me, you know, I don't want to see Amad playing as a wing back. Really, I'd like to see Amad playing in one of the 10 positions on the right as a right 10. You know, because I think someone of his ability, of his quality, you know, needs to be in the final third doing his damage. So yeah, that's why I'll say. Yeah, for me, he needs to be restored to playing as a number 10. But again, I think, and I keep saying this, until Man United are no longer in the Europa League, you know, I think we have to just see what's going to happen because, as I said, I think if United don't win this Europa League, how can you possibly keep this manager, you know? And as I said, you know, it's gonna be a mad roller coaster to the end of the season for me, you know. But we'll be there. But guys, big up yourselves for coming on. Big up Reluctant Gamer each and every time. As I said, if you guys got any comments to make in the live chat, what do you guys think? Do you think Man United should be targeting Liam Delap? Do you think that Victor Osimhen is more ideal for this system? You know, what do you think of the Cunha news? Cunha or Eze, guys? Who you taking? You know, I wouldn't mind either. You know, I would like to see Eze, if I'm honest, because I think Eze does have another level to go to. You know, what about the right 10? Do you think that Amad Diallo should be restored back to the right 10? Or do you think that an Mbeumo should be targeted? Or a Ryan Cherky? You know, because I think Man United need to just sort out who's going to be playing where. And whether that's under this manager or a new manager, you know. Again, I've given you my thoughts on this manager. He hasn't shown me enough, so we'll have to wait and see. But as I said, I think it's definitely, yeah, as Gamer said, you know, they need 2 players for each position. Man United, to be honest with you, whether they can, I don't know. But for me, as I said, I think it's definitely important that United get certain profiles in the right positions, you know. So Gamer says, if he wins, he probably deserves a few games next season. Yeah, listen, like again, I'm done with this manager because I've seen enough to know that this manager isn't the manager that I thought he was going to be. So I'm actually done with him, you know. So even if he wins the Europa or not, just because of the league season, and again, people will point to the players, but these same players are the ones that have got you to the semi-final. So I don't really want to be hearing that. But if he was to win the Europa, then again, you couldn't really argue if he's given to the start of the season. My thing is, I'm done with him even if he does win the Europa, because he's not, for me, he isn't going to be good enough long term. So I would just sack him anyway, if I'm honest. Let him go at the end of the season, you know. But if he does win the Europa, then you are gonna definitely see him there next season. But if he doesn't win it and United finish, as I say, as low as they have been, this is when Ineos have a decision to make. Because for me, if Ineos make the right decision and say, look, we thought he was the right guy, but he's not, I respect them a lot, because at least you're acting in the right way. And as Gamer said, look at Real Madrid. Of course, he would have been sacked a long time ago. Even Barcelona, like, these clubs don't mess around. He would have been gone a long time ago with those performances and where they are in the league, you know. And again, man, I'm just looking forward to this Europa League. You know, the league season, obviously Man United have got Bournemouth coming up on Sunday, which we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a preview for that. But he's got a massive decision to make in terms of the Bournemouth game, and then the game coming up on the Thursday in the first leg. He's got big decisions to make, because if he changes his team for Bournemouth and doesn't play a strong team, or his strongest team, he might think, and then the same thing happens and then he doesn't get a result against Bournemouth and against Athletic Bilbao, he's going to be under massive pressure, you know. And this is why you earn your money now. So we're going to see what Amorim's going to do. And as I said, yeah, he's gonna have to do something special to make this fan base think that, you know, he's the guy for the future. Because at the moment, there's a lot that obviously don't think he is, and I'm one of them. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, big up yourselves for coming on. Big up Lutz and Gamer each and every time, bro. Big up, man. Big up, guys, for your comments. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do. Make sure you smash that like button as well. It helps the channel grow. And guys, I'm going to be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Okay, so if you check my schedule, I'm going to be discussing a player, not only who I think Man United should sign, but I think big teams around, you know, around Europe in the Premier League need to be looking at this player. Because I think this player, you know, I think he's going to grow. I think, put it this way, yeah, I'm looking at Eduardo Camavinga, and I think this guy could be as good, as crucial as a Camavinga. You know, if he goes to, you know, a more established team in Champions League whether it's in the Premier League or in Europe. So yeah, if you want to know who that is, check out my my schedule for 12 tomorrow. And as I said, yeah, I'll be back speaking about a certain player in playing in the Premiership that I believe has the potential to grow to being one of the best players in Europe. You know, so again, check out my schedule, check out my my thumbnail as well to see who I'm talking about. Big up Zipsy before we go. So to be fair, we're the working 20+ striker now. Yeah, big up for your opinion, Zipsy. Listen, what I would say, Liam Delap for me, I know Liam Delap's what, 21, 22, but you have to look at the skill set that he offers. You know, I think if you get rid of Hoyland, which is a must, and you bring in Liam Delap to replace him, again, that's perfect because you've got a player who's better and you've got a player that, you know, can grow as well because Rasmus Højlund offers absolutely nothing. He's a nothing player. And to think that he costs 72 million, that's daylight robbery there. You know what I mean? So if Man United could get Liam Delap and get rid of Højlund, that's perfect. And then, as I said, if Man United change the system to play in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 under a different manager and restore Xerxes to being the number 9 again, you've got two strikers there, you know, that can share the workload, as well as Xerxes being able to play as a 10 if need be, if they wanted to play him and Delap together. I think in this system right now that he's playing, again, you'd probably think, because he's already said he doesn't see Xerxes as a 9. So you're looking at playing, unless he's going to give Cheeto more game time, you're looking at 2 strikers if you're getting rid of Højlund, if you're not going to play Xerxes in the 10. But again, I don't believe United need to... I'm basing this on formation change. So if United change the formation and they want Delap and Xerxes for me with Cheeto, that's fine. You know, I know people might say, you know, you might need a more experienced striker. But I believe if you've got a good functioning team, you know, and you're getting goals from all over the place, from all over the pitch, you know, and the system's working fine, because these 2 strikers are facilitator strikers as well, who can get goals. And if you've got players in other areas that can get goals, it works. But if you think bringing in an Osimhen, who might get you 20, 25 goals a season, like, be sure that somewhere else is going to be, somewhere else in the team is going to be lacking if he's going to be doing that, because he's not going to be offering the overall package that Liam Delap does. So that's what I would say, man. But big up for your opinion. Guys, any other questions before we wrap? Yeah, Zipsy, big up, man. Big up. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying with the 20+ striker now. But again, there isn't too many strikers that are 20+, like if you're saying mid-20s, that are gettable, you know, and of quality. So this is why looking at Liam Delap now for his skill set, the fact that he's English as well, you know, he knows the league now, you would say, you know, the qualities he offers, I think he's ideal. But if United did go for a Victor Osimhen, again, I wouldn't be unhappy, but I think in terms of what Liam Delap's going to offer the team, which is, I say, is more of a club signing, I think that would be more of a route to go down, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, big up yourselves for coming on. As I said, each and every time, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel at GavGoesIn. And guys, as I said, catch me tomorrow at 12 o'clock. As I say, check my schedule, put your notification on. Again, we're going to be talking about a certain midfielder that I believe is going to grow massively. And I want to see if he stays at the club, at his current club, in the summer. Because I think if any club's serious in Europe or the Premier League, they go and snap him up. You know, he's the perfect profile for me for any club in the Premier League, top 6 club in the Premier League and in Europe. But yeah, guys, catch me tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Take it easy.